So I've had the Huawei Nova 14i in my hands for about a week now, and I'll be straight with you. When I first looked at the spec sheet, I thought, okay, another budget phone, nothing crazy. But then I actually started using it day to day, and there's one thing about this phone that genuinely caught me off guard. If you've ever picked up your phone at noon and thought, how is it already at 30%? Keep watching because this phone might just fix that problem for good. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hit subscribe. We don't do fluff, just real talk so you can spend your money wisely. So first impressions, this phone looks good, like genuinely good for the price. I've got the blue version, and it's got this star orbit ring around the camera module on the back that gives it a premium feel you don't really expect at this price point. The build is plastic, sure, but it's solid plastic, not that hollow, creaky kind. At 8.9mm thin and 216 grams, it's a big phone, no question. You're going to feel it in your pocket, but it doesn't feel flimsy at all. Now the screen, 6.95 inches. That is a lot of screen. And unlike some budget phones that cut corners with HD resolution, Huawei went with Full HD Plus here at 1080 by 2376 pixels. That's sharp. Text is crisp, videos look great. The refresh rate sits at 90 Hz, so it's not quite as buttery as a 120 Hz display, but scrolling still feels smooth and natural. No complaints day to day. The bezels are slim on the sides, a bit more noticeable on the chin, but honestly for the price, it's a fair trade. And at just 799 dirhams here in Dubai, that screen is a genuinely good deal. Under the hood, you've got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 680, a 4G chipset built on a 6nm process. Now, yes, no 5G. That's worth calling out upfront. If 5G is a deal breaker for you, that's completely fair. But if you're on a 4G plan, or mostly on Wi-Fi anyway, you won't miss it in daily use. What you do get is a chip that handles everyday tasks really smoothly. Apps open quickly, multitasking is fine, and with 8GB of RAM, 256GB internal storage, things just don't slow down under normal use. Gaming, and let me be clear, this is not a gaming phone. That said, I did put it through its paces with some demanding apps, and it handled them surprisingly well. You won't be hitting those high frame rates, but for everyday use and casual gaming, it more than gets the job done. One thing I genuinely liked, there's this physical X button on the side. You can tap it to instantly launch widgets like the flashlight, calculator, camera, or even call an emergency contact. It sounds like a small thing, but it becomes one of those features you don't realize you use until it's not there. But here's where things get interesting. The real reason this phone turns heads. A massive 7,000 mAh battery. 7,000! To put that into perspective, most flagship phones costing 3 or 4 times the price max out at around 5,000 mAh. This thing packs a battery that's 40% larger than what you'd find on phones that cost significantly more. I'm a heavy user though. YouTube, GPS running in the background, social media, video calls, all that works. And I am comfortably getting a full day, and even more. For light to moderate users, you could genuinely be looking at 2 days between charges, that feeling of waking up on day 2 and still being at 60% battery. It's kind of liberating, honestly. You stop thinking about battery anxiety altogether. Now the charging speed is 22.5 watts supercharge. Is it the fastest? No. For a battery this size, you're looking at a couple of hours for a full charge. But plug it in before bed and you wake up to 100%, simple as that. And when you're only charging every day and a half or 2 days, the slower top-up speed matters a lot less. Camera-wise, there's a 50-megapixel main sensor with an f1.8 aperture and face detection autofocus paired with the auxiliary lens. For daytime shots, it does a solid job. Colors are natural, detail is good, and it handles bright outdoor light well. The 8-megapixel selfie camera on the front is decent too. Nothing groundbreaking, but more than good enough for video calls and social media. Low light is where it starts to show its budget roots. There's noise creeping in, and details get a bit muddy once the sun goes down. It's a functional camera, perfectly capable of capturing everyday moments. Just don't expect it to compete with something from the Huawei P series or a flagship shooter. A couple of extras worth mentioning. You get stereo speakers, which is a nice touch for media consumption on that big screen. There's no 3.5mm headphone jack though, so USB-C or Bluetooth for audio. Also no NFC, which might matter if you use contactless payments regularly. So, who is the Huawei Nova 14i actually for? If you're a student, someone who travels a lot, a working professional, who's constantly on the move, and just needs a phone that keeps up with you all day, honestly, all 2 days, this is a really strong option. You're getting a huge, sharp, full HD plus display, solid everyday performance, stereo speakers, and a battery that is genuinely in a different league for this price range. The trade-offs are worth mentioning though. You're giving up 5G connectivity and a headphone jack. So if either of those are deal breakers for you, this might not be the one. But if you can work within those boundaries, at around 799 dirhams, the Nova 14i is one of the best just works phones you can buy right now. Sometimes the smartest purchase isn't the flashiest spec sheet. It's the phone that's still alive at 11 p.m. when everyone else around you is hunting for a charger. Would a 7000 mAh battery make you switch? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. If this helped, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.